Okay, we're going to try this again. This is a little frustrating. Hopefully there is some audio, so we'll find out here in a minute. Wait till someone pops in. Try to get that light glare out of your eyes. I'll set the phone like that. So I'm going to try to do a few different things here today. Let's see what happens. You know, the thing is you don't know what's going to happen till you try, right? And unfortunately, now it's going to make it really hard for me to see comments because I'm on the mobile side and not the desktop side, which is a pain. Okay, that's a little better. Hey, Kyle, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So that's going to be the main thing, is if you can hear me. 5 by 5. So I'm assuming that's a yes, you can hear me. But you know, they say about assumptions. Assumptions, I mean, the first 3 letters of the word assume. So I don't like to assume if I ain't got to. So before I get started, oh, loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the last time I went live, I was looking for these. These are my plaster bowls. And to show you why is when the plaster dries, you can break the plaster loose because these are silicone. And it's kind of hard to see on camera. But you can just scrape the existing plaster away. So these are my plaster bowls. So that's what I was looking for the last time. So I've got those. Hopefully Wigwag shows up. I don't know if it shows that I'm got another live going or not. I don't know. But hopefully Wigwag shows up. I know he showed up in the first one. And I just couldn't get my mic to work. It was so weird. But I figured what I would do is at least try to start off putting some dirt in here between this field, which kind of looks whitewashed, and there you go. I'm gonna tilt it down a little. There we go. Ooh, I might have to do some tweaks with my thing here. But you can see there's a field here, and then there's just an edge right there. Hey, Steve Childers, what's going on? So I figured what I would do is just kind of fill this in between the roadbed and the field here with dirt, and then I'll be able to come back and ballast on top. So I think that's where I am going to start off for today. And hopefully my phone don't fall down. You know what I'm fixing to do? I'm fixing to do a flip. So bear with me just a moment. Shaky cam. I'm turning my tripod around and tighten. Okay, there we go. And I know now you're looking at the sky because I've got to readjust it. There we go. That might do a little better. By God, I hope it does. Okay. I've got me glue here. I'll set that back there. I got me brush. And I got me dirt. Steve Larson, how's it going? All right. And for those wondering like how tall this layout is, it's like right eye level. It's perfect. Until you get ready to work on it, and then it's like, oh, it's a little high. So you got to use a step ladder. Whew. Man, that stuff smells strong. And I just want to get this section right here wet. Not trying to get all of this hay, or whatever you want to call it, which I am picking up a few pieces, but that's okay. Okay. Well, Kyle, that didn't take you very long. Oh, okay. This here is actually going fairly quick. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. So all I'm doing now is just wetting down the dirt. Just getting it sloppy wet with this wet glue mixture. And what it will do is harden the dirt down once the glue dries. All right. Now I've got to adjust my ladder. All right, now I'm a little closer, so now I can read the chat just a little easier. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to get this sawmill finished so I can move on to the next project on my layout. Hey, Ray Bertelson. Steve, I have actually considered that, and I'm sure I think I've got a condiment bottle here somewhere. I know I do. But sometimes I need like to brush the glue. Sometimes I need the eyedropper on the glue. And guys, what I'm doing is I'm gently stroking the dirt, gently, to kind of smooth it out. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scraper here. I think what I want to do, rearrange the camera a little bit. So right here, I didn't leave a clear space between this field and where it goes down. So I'm actually going to scrape out some of this grass. To kind of represent the end of the field. Yeah, I ended up getting too much static grass over here anyways. So I'm going to have to redo all this. Okay. Put a little bit of dirt. Kind of on top of that. Okay. Jason shaved his armpits. What? No, I didn't shave my armpits. They're still fully loaded in there. That is one thing you will not catch me doing. Not to say there's anything wrong for those guys out there that want to shave their armpits, but Jason ain't doing it. And so what I noticed with the glue, the wetter you get it, it will spread. So, all right. Okay. Set that there, set that there. Hey, Bill. Okay. So for those just coming in, what I did was I had a strip right here between this field and the track, and I literally just put dirt down on it. So that's literally what I just did. I see one little spot right there that needs just a little bit of glue. Perfect. Well, Rick, hope you're doing well. We got Bill Hawk in the house. What's going on, Bill? Yeah, stroke the dirt. That's right, Jerry. Stroke it. All right. Now that I got that part done, so for those wondering which ballast I use, there you go. Scenic Express. Let me see if I can move a little closer. There you go. SCO356. That is the ballast that I use on my layout. Ed's Railway, how's it going? Ed, I'm Model HO. Joe Rader's in the house. What's going on, Joe? Man, this is starting to get a little low. I'm going to have to start using a ladle. Okay, start with that. I tell you one thing, these little ballast spreaders really help. And I'll come over there and tidy that up when I get over in that area. And I'm probably, I'm going to have to add quite a bit. Unfortunately, it's just part of it. Because it could be a spot where you might have a slight gap in the cork rope bed. So sometimes I have to come back and fill more ballast in between. Hey, Rusty. Ooh, one thing I just realized, I forgot to add all the tufts or the underbrush and stuff over here on this fence. So I'm going to have to add those as well. Pull that clump out. You know, it's too bad that they don't have some actual HO scale equipment that could do this for you. Ah, lazy dude, get back to work. What's going on, Robert? You know, I am working. I'm over here working on the railroad. Okay. So I've got a couple of things of underbrush here, medium green and light green. And typically I just kind of pour them in the caps. So I'm going to put some of that over here on the fence. I've got it to here, but I've got to make it all the way down to here. Set my glue right there on that box. That's a good spot for it. Go all the way to the gate at least. And I kind of just get a little bit, sprinkle a little bit on, and just kind of make it look like it's growing, in the fence a little. So there's some tall pieces, some pieces not as tall. And I'll come in and kind of mix the colors up. Kind of wish Woodland Scenics kind of had like a multicolored blend. It would have been really nice. Really nice to use. So I apologize that I'm not really keeping up with the chat. Earlier, I was trying to do this with the the desktop version of the site so I could see the chat better. But unfortunately, the audio wasn't working. So I had to go to the mobile version, and I can't really keep up with the chat. Especially someone like Lynn McCurdy puts on a question for the chat. Did someone take the day off? And then it just kind of cuts off. So, no, I did not take the day off. Not the whole day. I did work this morning. Junior had therapy, so I went and did therapy with him. And his therapy lets out about an hour before I normally get off work. But I normally get off of work at 4 o'clock. And let's see, what time is it right now? That clock is wrong. Oh, it's already 40 minutes after I would have been off work anyways. So yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones that don't have to work till 5. Super Chief. Yeah, see, I'm already lost in the chat, so I don't really know what all y'all are talking about. Okay. I think that looks good. Now the fun part, the glue. Hey, UP Charles, Steve Larson. What's it not doing? Oh, I don't know. Someone says they got ice cold beer. I heard that. Even though I'm not really much of a beer drinker, I prefer whiskey. But nothing wrong with a nice cold beer, especially on a day like today. It is hot. Okay. Let's see if I got a bigger pipette, because that's taking too long. All right. Ed, what brand decoder is in there? Because not every decoder does CV8 as a factory reset. I used to have more than one BLI locomotive. I ended up getting rid of some. Boy, this is tedious. Man, there's nothing more tedious than gluing down ballast. I don't care what anyone says. Okay. Making progress. I got a small little bitty spot. Sometimes the ballast on the sides will clump up and run down. It's like the glue creates like a washout effect. See how that looks. And I think that looks that there looks pretty good. All right. All right, so before, let's see here. I guess now I'm going to continue putting in the underbrush. Get up a little higher. Shoot, that's too much. But you know what? Because it's too much, you can always come back and take some off. What'd you get rid of, Joe? You must be talking about a BLI locomotive you used to have or something. All right, so I got plenty of dark green. I'm gonna need a little bit more light. So BLI, oh, MP15. I know Athern Genesis made one a while back. Okay, I kind of like that. I'll go ahead and put these up. Well, what do y'all think about the vegetation? I'll have to spray it down, but I'll do that here in a minute. All right, let's see. We're going to start here, work our way down. Put that there. Who in here likes the ballast? Yeah, use some Roundup. Hey, Dwight. Yeah, I believe if I use some Roundup, yeah, I wouldn't have all these weeds. Did they even have Roundup in the 50s? They probably had something a little more potent. All right. Yeah, Roundup like a tornado. Yeah, that's no lie. And I'll tell you one thing, it's getting a little more difficult trying to scoop this stuff out. Just a little. Couple little clumps. And I see a small piece of plaster. That's coming out. Looks a little different than when I first started, huh? Man, I know Jimmy DIY and Digital, man, he balances his Kato. I don't know how he does it. And quite frankly, I really don't want to know. All right. Now the fun task of gluing it all in. And it's like playing a guessing game. Like, where did I stop gluing at over here again? Yeah, I hate it when that happens. creates a washout just on the side of the road bed. So it don't spread like down the road bed evenly. Nothing more annoying than that. Just like right there. Big old washout. And then I have to come back in and put in more ballast. And probably what doesn't help is I've got super elevation. And there what goes again. Wetting agent. So this has got water, Mod Podge, and IPA in it. So it's got a mix. I mean, technically I could, but I don't like getting IPA on the rails because I do not use IPA to clean my track. And it doesn't do it all over the place. Typically, when you get a washout, it it's just in some areas. Like right here, it's spreading really, really nice. It's just in certain spots you end up getting the famous washout. But it's not all the time. Now, if I'm using like Woodland Scenics ballast, oh yeah, I would definitely spray it down with IPA first because the Woodland Scenics ballast is not actual rock. This is actual rock. And I'm okay with, like a little bit of washout. I just don't want like a whole bunch of washout. All right. So what I got to do now is I just got a couple of places I need to fix. Not many. Okay. Hey, Derek. Yo, this thing was almost full earlier. Or it was at least half full. But the good news is if I do have like a washout like this, um, once that glue sets in there a little bit, I can add a little bit more and it won't wash out. Okay. All right, there is the tape. And y'all, I'm not taping the ballast. I'm just trying to get on top of the rails. So I'm not even pressing down in the center. And I only need to go that far. Because what I'm fixing to do is spray all of the fence line. Yeah, come on, dude. Okay. And if anyone's wondering what I was using, that's all I was using. And I don't know about y'all, but that looks good. And I wasn't doing it for the ballast. I was doing it for the fence line for this stuff over here, so that way it would just stick down. So, and it might not be permanently stick, but it'll be sticky enough. All right, I'm gonna adjust and move some things, and then we can look at doing the next phase because I'm gonna have to let all this dry. The last thing that I've got to do over here is install the telephone poles, and I'll probably put one here, and then just kind of continue on. And unfortunately, it's probably going to end up going in the hayfield. So, all right. Right. See, I'm done with the dirt and the ballast for a little bit. And then, of course, if I see that I need more ballast, then I can always come back and add it. It is tall bench work, so it is, you know, like cheek level. And that's because I wanted something eye level as the trains are going across. But there is another level underneath it. So anytime you build a double decker, one layer is going to be higher than the other, right? Okay. Like I said, I'm just moving some items out of the way. So that way things don't get damaged. Figure out how I want to do this. All right. Moving camera. So y'all can see I'm going to move him out of the way too. Hey, looky here, my plaster bowls. We were looking for those last time. I'm actually going to make one bunch of plaster. So that way, yeah. So that way I can plaster in this stuff over here. And I'm going to move that building too. Okay. All right, I got to turn the vacuum on, so you're going to hear a little bit of vacuum action first. Got that cleaned up. Okay. You know, I probably should paint this first. Wouldn't y'all think I should paint this? This is my little one-lane bridge. which I scratch about. Yeah, it's not loud at all. It's a little. If you're curious what it is, it's a little Bissell, and it's rechargeable. Yeah, not terrible. The model is 2986, so 2986. That is the model number for the Bissell. All right, I'm gonna get some paint because we're gonna paint that. We'll do a little bit of painting over here as well. A little bit of ballast, or not ballast, but plaster, because that goes. Turn this. It goes right here, and so basically we're creating a one-lane bridge that goes over this creek, and then it kind of goes off into the backdrop. Stains. Yeah, but I also want it to be weathered too. So, and I don't have time for stains to dry. Crap paint, I can get that dried a little quicker. Silver, dark red, where's my red? Steel. You know, I could use this color, which is the rail tie brown. And that's what I did for this, well, that scale track there. That was originally rail tie brown. And I gave it a gray dry brush, and then I washed it with a raw umber. So I might just do the same method that I did here. So go get a brush. You know what? I'm also going to trade this ladder in for my taller step stool. Where are you at? Right. Okay. Oh, now I'm a little closer. So what I can do instead of doing the top, I mean, I'm going to have to do the bottom too, right? But just kind of show you. It gives it a good, like a creosote wood color. Because you got to remember, in my era, I don't think pressure treated was. Well, I'm not going to say it wasn't a thing because it probably was. But I also know that they baked them with creosote as well. Here we go. Now I've also got like black You know, India ink I could have used as well. Okay. And I can't see down in that bottle. And I could have airbrushed this too, because this is airbrush paint that I am using. But I didn't want to fire up the airbrush for something small. I'm sure some of y'all can relate. Okay. And I mean, this paint dries relatively quick too. Here we go. Okay, 1940s. Okay. But who knows how long this bridge has been there? You know? We all don't know. All right, let that dry a minute. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to go get my brush cleaned and I'm going to get my gray paint. And then we'll do a little dry brushing. We're just gonna get this guy dry. Oh yeah, arsenic? Yeah, I heard about that. Okay. All right. I got some paint. I got my raw umber. So we're basically going to do kind of the same thing that I did this scale track. Huh. How about that? My paper from the last time. All right. Move you there. And I'm going to adjust the camera a little more. Okay, there we go. Jeez Louise, what in the world is that? Okay. Whatever. All right. I need a little bit more paint there. Here we go. I might have to go with a little bit lighter gray, probably. There we go. Well, yeah, it's starting to look good. A little more paint there. Can y'all see it now? So Oh yeah, this is looking good, y'all. I might not even wash this one because this one here is still kind of like dark. Because I went with like a darker gray. I don't know. What do y'all think? Yo, Jack, what's going on, dude? So, what do y'all think? How dare you not let me know you're going live? Jack, I didn't let anyone know. I just kind of decided to do it at the last minute. All right, let me get the paint out of the way. So, I might not even need to do a wash after all. And just kind of leave that as is. Hey, Jim Tedesco, how's it going? So, and I don't know how well y'all can see that, but doing the dry brush, I mean it really brings out the grain. And then, there's the post. So, I kind of like that. I think that's what we'll do. That one there. Okay. So, done with the dry brushing. All right. I'm going to go clean my paintbrush again. I'll be right back. All right. Paintbrush dried. Set it off to the side. Start shifting some things down. And then I can't really go any further with my ballast because what I'm going to have to do is I've got the sides of the rail to paint. So far this is what I've got done. We added dirt in right along the beside the field. And then we ballasted from here all the way back to that signal. And then got a whole bunch of, undergrowth and whatnot growing over here on our fence line. So far that is what all we've got done today. What I'm thinking about doing is getting some ballast together. Or not ballast, plaster. You know, everybody likes getting plastered, right? And then put a plastered edge along the masonite here to kind of give it some contour. Fill it in here as well. So that way when I do ballast, the ballast won't be running down. So I just need to make just a very little bit. And then I'm going to also build up the road. And I'm probably not going to put any here. I'll just probably get dirt, pack the dirt in and glue it in. And then call that good. And then that really still needs painted. So I think before I plaster that, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to paint all of that. Let's see if I can find a really light brown. I think I'm going to go with warm buff. I think that might be my color of choice. Well, I'm getting wasted text. Text? You mean next? Jack's going to get wasted? All right. Yeah, that's the color I want. Normally, I use like a PPG paint called Ponytail to do all of this. But I'm just going to do this little bit right here. You're regretting first shift. Why is that? Oh, lazy guys. Well, unfortunately, that's everywhere you go. There are some lazy people out there. Okay. That looks a lot better. Maybe I'll up a little bit closer. Get the plaster bowl out of the way. All right, I'll be right back again. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to use this gray here because what I've got is the culvert right there. Hey, Nathan. And I need to see a little bit further up in there. All right, I'm gonna have to get my ladder because I can't see. Two step stool, not tall enough. Oh, this is not comfortable, but I can see. Okay. Yeah, I see a few plaster pieces in there too, but Dadgummit. Okay. I think we're good. I think that will work. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of go ahead and dirt that back in there where the bridge is going to go, and then we'll get the bridge put in. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do that too. Walk into a room and go, what was I looking for? Yeah, I do that all the time. Tell me something new. And then sometimes I have to leave that room just to remember what it was that I was looking for and then go back in. So, all right. So our bridge will go right there, like that. I think that's going to look really good. So now what I need to do is get some dirt, or maybe I should just go ahead and plaster that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think we're going to do a little bit of plastering. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend these legs on the tripod, see if we can't get you up a little higher. There we go. Okay. That was a big comment. My Uncle Jeff and my Aunt Joy are probably moving from away from Illinois. It's kind of close to one by Iowa with the incline. Been talking on the phone. Okay. Well, that's cool, Nathan. That's pretty cool. I would think. Right, we're going to need some of that. I might be breaking out the static grass too. Yeah, I'm breaking it out. Why the heck not? All right, a couple of things of static grass. Now let's get some plastering here. I don't really need a lot. So I have an ice cream scoop that I use for plaster. So that's all in there is ice cream scoop. Hey, birthday boy's in the house. What's going on, John? All right, I need to get a plastic spoon though. You know what? I'll just take the one out of my ballast because I'm not ballasting. So okay. And with any little bit of plaster, we're gonna add a little bit of tap water, just like that. And so I'm mixing it off camera in my hand so I can easily hold on to it. And it's a little soupy, so I need to add some mix to it. Oh yeah, that's starting to thicken up now. All right, so to show you what I'm looking for consistency wise, we want it kind of more sloppy than runny. See how it kind of dollops? That's what you want. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of get some up here on the edge of this masonite here. And being left-handed sometimes is not beneficial. So I will try to get that with my finger. This part here can get a little messy, but I'm basically kind of smoothing it out, and I'm taking the excess and putting it back in my bowl. Still a little runny, but once air starts hitting it, it's going to start hardening up, which is what we want. And so unfortunately, I cannot look at the chat while I'm doing this. Otherwise, I will make a mistake. And you kind of have one shot to get this right. And I know you're probably not at the best angle. And then what I'm going to do now is start working it, try to work it down in here where the road bed is. But even that is sometimes easier said than done. think what I want to try to do is take this bridge here and I'm going to build some up to it. So let's put in a dollop. All right, I'm going to use my fingers to hold that bridge in place. What I'm doing is just kind of spreading it to the bridge. And it's okay if it gets a little bit on there, because when I put dirt and stuff on here, that will cover it. A little bit more from the bottom. There we go. Kind of like that. All right. So that kind of gives me like a little bit of a road contour. Still need quite a bit there. Need that section built up just a little. And now just got to let this stuff dry, because now I'm starting to run out of time with it. And I'm just making more of a mess than I want to. So downside is I did waste a little bit of plaster, but the good news is I did get that done. Plaster of Paris. Internet on 160-mile-per-hour train gets dicey. Stream reception. I don't know. Give me just a second and I'll check to make sure that we're on the right Wi-Fi. It's still live. All right. Give me a second and I'll check the Wi-Fi. I had to get my hands clean. I didn't want to get plaster all over the phone. All right. Let's take a look. And no, it's on the right Wi-Fi. Oh, Heath is here? Hey, Heath. All right. what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift y'all over this way and not try to damage stuff at the same time. See if we can't get y'all maybe a little bit of a better look. This out of the way. So now I have to just let this dry in here, but then I'll be able to break it apart. So that's why I got 2 bowls. So if I'm doing a big plaster job, when I get done with one, I can always come back and use the other. And you can come, and sand this stuff. I'm not going to. Gives a, a little better texture. Hello, Adidas. Definitely from the 80s. So I've actually got 2 of these shirts. Okay, let me pull my little bridge out. Get the plaster off of this. There we go. And then we will put it back where it fits. Maybe one of these days. There we go. Just see that a little better. Let me rotate it. There we go. All right. Only downside is I got a little bit on my paper. Okay. And so I'll have to let this cure before I can paint it, unfortunately. But what I can do is pull the bridge out and we'll work this area right in here in the river. Because it's not going to have any grass. Or not a lot. Give me a second and let me get some more glue. Because I am about out. Actually, I got plenty. And just like that, we're topped off. And let's see, I want you a sponge. And we'll start getting all of this nice and wet. Mainly on the inside and up high. Give it a little bit of green in that ditch. And we're going to make this little area kind of green too. Or what I might do is actually put in a road. So I might put a road in over here too. Which I can put some green in there and then come back and cover it with dirt. There we go. Now the whole scene is backwards and the way it's running is the wrong way. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay, dirt time. Yeah, let's see here. Sprinkle a little more dirt. And put in the bridge. And we'll pile some dirt here. The burger. I'm a little lost on that burger topic. Let's see. Tonight is what, Wednesday? Let's see. Thomas Grassi should be going live here pretty soon, so make sure you go check him out. And I think Heath, Premium Humanity Junction, goes live a little later. There we go. Sprinkle just a little. Just a little. All right. Let's see, who's all here? Yeah, I don't know this Heath guy I just mentioned. Maybe it's the wrong guy. Okay. So now I'm just going to have to let pretty much a lot of this here dry. I could probably try to get some greenage back there in the back. But yeah, I'm just definitely going to have to let a lot of this dry. But I will probably put in a dirt road here. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do is if I'm going to put a road here for the trucks to come back across and go that way, or if I'm going to put the road that way. I'm not sure yet. So it's one of those things I got to figure out, as time comes and time permits. So got a little plaster on the ties here. I'm going to try to get those off. I would have to come back and cut all that out. So, well, it's a start. So my main goal, I'm going to flip the camera back around. And I'm going to have to hold up on the static dresser right now. I'll have to come back and do it later. But my goal is this creek that's running right through here, this way, back towards the sawmill. This is what's going to be the 32 square feet. It's actually a little more than 32 square feet, but it's going to be the 32 square feet that's going to be used for me to be judged on my scenery AP. So give you a little bit better view. Let's pitch you up a little. There we go. So that's going to be the key. I think what I'm going to do real quick, because I'm not real happy about the way this dirt here looks. I think I'm going to see if that helps. And that might help a little. Darken it up some. So, all right, Bill's out of here. Well, Bill, thanks for coming in, man. Going to be pulling into Philly here in a few. Looks great, Jason. Catch you on the next one. Okay. Well, enjoy your time over in Philly. See if you can find Rick Bailey, and I believe John Skookill's in that area too. So you might be able to try to meet up with them. Maybe Boxcar Jerry. I know he's in New Jersey, but I think he's on the. I don't think he's too far from Philly. So, all right. Oh, and I did get the fence done, by the way. So all the fence is good. Oh, you live in Philly. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, oh, man. Little plaster pieces. It's the downside with working with plaster. You got to use tweezers to get them off the layout. That's the only downside about working with plaster. Sometimes you get these little plaster residues. So Nathan's an hour or two away from Philly, so Bill might hit him up on that for sure. But yeah, I still got to paint the sides of the rail up here, so that's why I haven't ballasted this area yet. But and I think, let me pull my little bridge out. I think I want to add just a hair of grass in front of that. Not a lot. Maybe that there. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Yeah. That there looks kind of good. Just try to get rid of that water bead a little bit. Make it look a little more natural. And then I can have a vehicle over there. So that's probably a better view. And then to make the view really worth it, give me a second. We'll dim the lights. And then we'll turn on the power. And now you got the nighttime effect. So there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. It's probably showing occupancy because it's probably the glue is still a little wet. So between the rails, enough to create a small short. But it's showing a red over red like there's occupancy back there on that back track, but I know there ain't no occupancy. Yeah, it's showing occupancy up here too, so that's got to be what it is. It's got to be because that glue is still wet. So, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but there is a flickering light. Let's see if I can move y'all around. There it is. Got a flickering light back there in the back. So, all right, I'm going to get the light back on. Woo. Pretty cool scene, huh? Oh, thank you, Nathan. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all this: I am nowhere as good as a Crooked Dave Thurber. or a John Arthur. Those two guys do some really, really good scenery. And I mean really good. So, but I just try to learn from them. You know, I just try to learn from anybody who I think does good stuff. Billboard is super cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, I put the billboard in on the last live. And so it's one of those woodland scenic ones that's lit. So the other things that I still have to do is I still got to add more of the telephone poles. And yes, if you're wondering, we get a little closer, there is wires on the pole. So I still got more of those to add. I've got a section back over there. There's a hill way back over there that needs trees added on it. So I still have that to do. And then add the telephone poles along this front end as well. And then do that. So, but we got vehicles over at the sawmill. Thanks, Derek. Much appreciated. So I think this is where I'm going to go ahead and call it. And, oh, see, now the glue has dried enough to where now it's no longer creating that short. I just noticed. So, our, well, you can't really see it on the camera, but there is a signal that is right over here that was showing red over red. Now it's showing a red over yellow. And if I do this, then it flips to yellow over red. It's a little easier to see when it's dark because I'm not seeing the change on camera. Maybe those that are watching on a bigger screen can probably see it. But what I can show you is this one over here. All right, there we go. So right now it's showing a yellow because the next signal is red, but if I turn the track, the next signal is going to be yellow, and now you get a flashing yellow. So, and there is a signal on the other side of that one as well. And then there's the straw field. It feels kind of like a porcupine. But yeah, seeing the texture is like really tough. Demolition derbies. It wouldn't surprise me, Nathan, but I don't know of any off the top of my head. But I do know there's sprint races as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a demolition derby somewhere. Y'all like how I got the track all buried here? It's a pretty neat effect. So Derek, I'm using LCC or Layout Command Control to do all of the signal logic. So right now my computer over there is not even running JMRI. So you don't even have to have a computer. I mean, well, you need a computer to be able to program it, but you don't use a computer to run it. So, but yeah, JMRI. Oh, you had a friend by the name of Jason that used to do demolition derbies? That's pretty cool. I still need to figure out where I'm going to put this Moonshiners scene. I've got 3 lighted vehicles which is one looks like a moonshine car, and then the other two look like what you call it, cop cars. They're the Woodland Scenics ones that have the flashing beacon on the top. I was going to have like a moonshining scene, moonshine runner. So, Derek, give me a second. I'll show you what the sensors look like. Oh, all right. And just so you know, you can go to trainfreakhobbies.com and buy all this stuff. It is on the website. Okay, so first you got to have an LCC starter kit, which I did not grab. The LCC starter kit, all it is the the power injector, and it has the USB device, so that way you can connect your computer to it. But you have these things called nodes, and so this is a Tower LCCQ. If you look inside the packaging, these use network cables, okay? And it doesn't matter which one you plug in, it's all daisy chain. So the power could go from the power to this, and then you go from this one to, say, the next node, so forth, so forth, so forth. Have your USB piece in there, which also has 2 data jacks. The nodes, that is what stores the data. Nathan, I will get to that comment here in just a minute. Okay? And then on the Tower LCC, there's these 10-pin connectors here. So you use a 10-pin ribbon cable. And it can go to either an SMD8. So that's for your stall motor driver. So this is going to be for connecting your tortoise switch machines. There is also an SCSD-8 for like the older Atlas snap switches. Okay. Or you can connect the block occupancy detector, the BOD8, which let's see here. It's got all these screw terminals here, and then the screw terminals. So there's your 10-pin that goes back to the node. So all of these screw terminals, you would solder a pair of wires to these. And so one of your track wires is wrapped through the hole, at least twice. And then that's what detects the current flow through the rails. And so, and then it's got little bitty screws in the middle here where you can adjust your sensitivity. And then as far as signals go, you would have to have what's called a signal LCCS. So it does have one input-output connection where the tower has 2, but all of these screw terminals here are for your signal LEDs. And so it will allow you to do up to 4 signal heads. So that could be, say, 4 singles, 2 singles and a double, a single and a triple, etc. And each signal head has for a common red, white, green, and lunar. If you do find a brand of signals that has 4 LEDs in it, but if you don't use the lunar, you can always use a flashing red. And then the signal LCC and the tower LCC just stores all of the configurations. So it's an NMRA standard, and that's what I use. Hey, Stormy Steve, what's going on? Okay, so Stormy Steve is the only one that came in. All right, Nathan says, my Uncle Dan in the Navy, when he was in the sub, one time he caught people in the act for transporting drugs across the Atlantic Ocean, and the Coast Guard got all the credit. It was top secret. Yeah, that's how it happens. But like I said, all of this you can find off of trainfreakhobbies.com, and I do free LCC consultations. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, I can pretty much tell you what you do and what you don't need. And then not just that, but you see these, oops. I'll get my camera figured out one way. Here we go. But you see like all these buttons here that are green and red. So these are actually LCC buttons. These are called quick buttons. So if I throw a switch, the color will change to let you know the indication that, hey, now this is in the thrown position. Now it's in the closed position. And so that's how I know, based upon my panels, how my switches are thrown. And I have those all over the layout. So I've got 2 panels there, and they are duplicated panels. So whatever you do on one, it does on the other. And then I've got another panel back there. So that is layout command control in a nutshell. All right. So with that being said, I think I am going to go ahead and wrap this up and go ahead and call it a day. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on the Delta Pines subdivision, Cotton Belt Railroad 1958. Joe Rader is exactly right. I'm also great with soundtracks problems as well. So electronics are my forte. So if you think I do amazing scenery, just know that my electronic knowledge is a lot better than my scenery knowledge. So, and if you toggle the turnout on the panel, does it change the signal to indicate the turnout is closed? Absolutely, it does. So I have a playlist called Layout Command Control, and go look at the last one because I actually program a signal in real time. So you can see, you know, it's already wired up, but I actually program it in real time so you can see everything in there. So, but yeah, like I said, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to go eat dinner. I'm getting a little hungry. So, with that being said, thanks for hanging out. Y'all be safe out there. And Derek, if you're interested, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to talk with you, okay? So, y'all be safe out there, and I will catch y'all next time. Happy railroading.